Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Ice Talks, where we implement change every day. Hey, this is Harold S. Reed Jr., also known as hrjr, your motivational coach. If you don't know what motivation means, motive plus action equals results, and results equals success. Welcome back to another episode of the Ice Talks. So let's jump right into this. A few days ago, I was online and I happened to come across a comment on a friend's thread that I found funny. Now, I'm a warped personality of sorts, and the thing is, I found his commentary funny primarily because it was absolutely not his intent to be funny. He was actually being serious, but there are times when the best parts of comedy or the best parts of something humorous come from something that's serious, and then it's just a matter of timing. The door has to be open at just the right time and just the right angle for you to slide that joke in and try and make light of the situation. And that's what I did with him in his commentary. And it's very rare that I respond to people's threads on their walls and so on and so forth. I'm having so much fun talking my crap on my own social media that I really don't spend a lot of time commenting on other people's stuff, because I tend to have very much my own opinion, and I don't care about forcing it. And when I say I don't care, I care not to force my views and my opinions on others. So when you see, if you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, if you come across anything I say, I'm saying it, no pun intended, within my space. All right, shout out to everybody who remembers MySpace. But no, if I say something, if you read something I said 9 times out of 10, I'm saying it on my platform, whether, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. It's like me speaking from my living room, the same way I'm in my office right now recording this podcast. I'm speaking on my grounds. I'm speaking on my turf. And I don't spend a lot of time going out into other people's areas. Sometimes I do, and a lot of times it's not to counter, and it's not to argue, and it's not to disagree. It's usually to, try to bring some light and levity to a situation where it doesn't really need to be, because after all, this is just social media. But I digress. What happened with this particular friend? He started coming at me like I was actually attacking him. I was, just making light of a typo is basically what it was. And so we were going back and forth, and I'm really trying to get it, dude, like, why are we even having this discussion? Because you couldn't tell by the smiley face laughy emoji that it was a joke. Anyway, I say all of that to say this, man. There are people in life who just want to be angry. For whatever reason, they're going through whatever it is that they're going through. And you know what? You have to let them. Because if you spend too much time trying to get inside somebody's head and trying to figure out what's making them tick and try and figure out what's wrong with them, it's going to, their toxicity is going to infect you. Toxicity, emotional toxicity is contagious. Emotional toxicity is like an airborne pathogen. It travels in the air. It travels, and it's energy. It travels. It travels throughout all existence. And if you are not paying attention, if you are not on guard with your own personal state of mind and personal peace of mind, if you are not paying attention, you can get caught up in somebody else's emotional baggage. You could get caught up in someone else's emotional toxicity and negativity. And next thing you know, you putting up angry posts on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or what have you. All right. So you got to be very mindful of that. Some people would just rather be bitter instead of being better. Some people have an excuse for everything. There's all kinds of reasons why they are not where they want to be or where they should be in their lives. They will never admit to this, but 9 times out of 10, dare I say 10 times out of 10, it is likely because of the choices and the decisions that they made and the paths that they chose to take that have resulted in them being in a place, whether it be physically, financially, emotionally, health-wise, they are someplace they would rather not be. Now, you can say you love yourself, but how can you love yourself if you are someplace where you are unhappy? And what's even worse is if you are someplace emotionally, internally, where you are unhappy, you have no one to blame for that but yourself. For no matter where you go, there you are, and wherever you are, chances are, if you're an adult, you put yourself there. Nobody kidnapped you. There's no drop squad that ran up on you in a van and threw you in the van, took you someplace and dumped you somewhere else and said, now you got to live your life here. No. We are where we are in life because of the choices and the decisions that we've made. And there's nothing wrong with having made bad choices. There's nothing wrong with having made bad decisions. It's a part of life. It's a part of growing up. It's a part of the process of being a human being. But what is wrong is if you make those bad choices and you make those bad decisions and you don't learn anything from those choices. You don't learn anything from those decisions. You find yourself someplace where you don't want to be, and instead of putting in the work to improve your circumstances, to put yourself someplace better, you stay where you are, and then you stay bitter. I've said this in several past podcasts. Life is full of peaks and valleys. All right. There's not a lot of room on the peaks, so we don't spend a lot of time there. We spend as much time as we possibly can, and the peaks is where we celebrate. But down in the valley is where we build our character. Down in the valley is where we go through the trenches. Down in the valley is where, the rubber meets the road. Down in the valley is where, pardon my French, sugar turns to shit. And down in the valley is where we learn to rise again. So down in the valley, if you stay down in the valley, you can be a victim. You can stay a victim and be bitter, a bitter victim down in the valley. But if it is your goal to not be a victim, and if it is your goal to be better, if it is your goal to not be bitter, if it is your goal to become a victor, then you are going to have to put in the work to get up out of that valley. Put in the work to rise up to that peak. Because down in the valley, you find out who you are. On your way up to the peak, you find out what you are capable of. And when you get to the peak, you celebrate. But don't stay bitter. Don't allow yourself to be transformed into a bitter person by the bitter people in your life. If you try to shed some light on somebody, if you try to improve their circumstances, if you try to just, show some caring and some happiness and they can't accept it, then you have to let them know, I'm here for you, but I'm out. I can't hang here. I can't rock with you right now. When you're ready to come out of this funk, you let me know. We'll go to Applebee's or something. We'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll go to Hooters, whatever. Right? But as long as you want to stay bitter, I can't stay with you. I'll go with you through the thick and I'm there with you thick and thin. But as long as you want to stay thick and go through it, you want to swim in it, you want to drown in it, nah, I can't play a part of that. But when you're ready to come out, when you're ready to reach up and come out of the muck and the mire of the abyss, I'll reach down and I'll grab you and I'll help you come up out of that. That's my philosophy. All right. You can't save a person who is drowning and fighting you at the same time. All right. If their body goes limp, you could probably grab them and try and, pull that dead weight up, or that dead weight can pull you down. Right? If you're strong enough, you can pull them up, but You won't know that unless it comes up. Now, if you got somebody that's just straight fighting in the water, come on, man. They might hit you, knock you out. Next thing you know, you dead. And they using you as a flotation device, right? So sometimes you have to let bitter people be bitter. If you would rather be bitter instead of better, guess what? I'm going to let you. I'm here to let you know that there's an alternative. I'm here to let you know that there is better. I'm here to let you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm here to let you know that even though you don't see that light, it is there. I'm here to let you know that there are twists and turns and bumps and bruises waiting for you. But you have to keep the faith and get through it. Now, having said that, if you're not willing to take heed of that, and you just want to stay mad and you want to stay bitter, I'm going to let you, because I have too many other things in my life to be happy and grateful about, and so I choose to be better. Now, do I have my periods where I don't want to be bothered, or do I have my periods where excuse me, I'm in a dark place? Absolutely. Don't doubt it. But I don't stay there long. I can't stay there long. I have to stay there, see it for what it is, mind that dark phase, that dark period, for whatever I can learn from it, and then get the hell out of it before it becomes toxic. And I've said before, I have lived, internally toxic. And it is not fun. It is not pleasant. So I also have a philosophy that I wrote about in my second book, Success is a Journey from the Womb to the Tomb, called Embracing the Darkness. And what I mean by embracing the darkness, and I'll wrap up with this. What I mean by embracing the darkness is not going through life with rose-colored glasses and a Pollyanna view where everything is perfect. Everything is going to be, peaches and cream and flowers and sunshine and unicorns and rainbows and, all that good stuff. No, there are times in life when life gets hard. There are times in life when, you got to go through it. You got to go through some things to get to some things. I get that. Right? So instead of being mad or upset that things aren't going the way that I would want them to, I have to sit back and I have to analyze. And I have to think about why are things not going the way I want them to. What can I do? What have I done to put myself here? And what can I do to get myself the hell up out of here? Right? And then you start, when you ask yourself those two questions, what did I do to get myself here? And what can I do to get myself the hell up out of here? There are solutions. Those are solution-based questions. The only workable answers to those two questions are solutions, right? What did I do to get myself here? That puts you in a place where you take accountability for your actions. What do I have to do to get the hell up out of here? All right? That's a question that the answer gets you moving forward, gets you away from where you are right now. Now, I strongly urge that you take heed of this advice. I strongly urge that you avoid toxic people. I strongly urge that you avoid emotional vampires, because they do exist. They will feed off of your positive energy and they will project their negativity onto you, because very few people want to take stock of themselves, accountability for themselves, and responsibility for themselves. So what they will do is they will project their negativity onto you. And then you will find yourself in a place where you're defending yourself, and then you have to find fault with the other person, and now you're going back and forth in a battle of negativity. And who's going to win that? Neither one of you. So again, sometimes you have to just let bitter people be bitter. If that's the choice that they choose to make, then you have to let them live with that choice. You can make a better choice. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Again, follow me on Spreaker.com. Look up the Ice Talks. Follow me. We're still setting the goal to get to iHeartRadio. We got to get 100 followers. We are somewhere a little bit over a quarter of the way there. So make sure you share this podcast and encourage your friends and family, whoever you share this podcast with, to follow the Ice Talks on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And look up the podcast itself, which is entitled The Ice Talks. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll be back in touch with you real soon. Do good things. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Ice Talks, where we implement change every day.